Oh, this is going to be a challenging video. Melanie Mac, the Grifting Conundrum. Now, couple of things before I get started here. Firstly, this is going to be a two-parter because someone posted on X request and it's a good segue into a follow-up. Secondly, this video is going to test who has balls and who can't think straight because you're bollocks. Now, Melanie Mac, gaming lass, generally known for her fondness of Lara Croft as well as having a propensity for throwing about a certain 6-letter F word, which naturally I of course too find greatly amusing. Now, I will say this. I like Melonie for three things. One, she's very easy on the eyes. Last time I checked, it is not a crime to admire aesthetics. Two, she's got a pet bunny, and I had two as a kid. And three, she says gamer words, which I find funny. Oh yeah, and she's a Soundgarden fan, which makes her objectively better people. So she put up a post on X going off on, well, you can probably guess who, using said 6-letter F word very liberally. She's probably one of the few females that can get vocally animated without going full Sanpaku eyes, which is actually quite rare. Well done to Melonie. And I retweeted it saying, how can you not like her? Because that's all it takes to get a chuckle out of me. I'm an easy bloke to please. The replies I got to that retweet was so weird, someone else even retweeted it saying the replies to that thread are quite strange, so it's not just me who noticed. And there's something else making the rounds lately, and far too frequently as well for my liking. Someone will make a post, and you'll find a whole bunch of wankers who, for whatever reason, gunk up the post by talking a whole bunch of arse utterly unrelated to it. And it's all the usual rubbish you'd get for a woman on the internet, or rather in her case, evidently people that have been watching her for a lot longer than I have, saying she's insincere, she's a grifter, she used to be a liberal, etc, etc. And I'm there going, gamer words, make me laugh. Your points have nothing to do with said gamer words making me laugh. Explain to me what your point is, and I will politely reply, why I don't give a fuck. It's as if I'm looking at a picture of her carnivore diet and someone bursts into my field of view going, no, Spoon, you don't understand. She wants to eat some vegetables. You cannot trust this grifting two-faced harlot. And I'm there sporting the people's eyebrow going, it's a picture of steak, calm the fuck down. Now, the reason I'm using Melonie as an example here is because she's probably the content creator that I engage with the least, yet I get the most grief for liking, which is really weird. That, and I'm fortunate enough to actually be able to speak to the lady. I bother trying to dissect and interpret the words of those who have a bias when I can just talk to the source. Makes far more sense to me. Besides, Melonie gains nothing by lying to me. I'm just a floating avatar. The people who don't like her aren't going to care what I have to say anyway, so who the hell cares? But the grifting argument for Melonie seems very strange to me. Recall what I said a few months ago, that in a democracy, a politician is supposed to represent the will of the people. However, if a politician shifts their position, especially after public opinion changes, this is seen as a sign of being an opportunist or being unprincipled. To which I say, that's complete bollocks. If a politician is supposed to represent the will of the people, the people's minds and opinions do often change. And so if you want to continue representing the will of the people, you must represent the change as well. That shift is inevitable. That's democracy working as theorized. That's not a bug of democracy, that's a feature. There's also a similar vein to this when it comes to the market. If you don't provide a desired product, you'll tank. Well, as theorized in a purely competitive market anyway. The reason I bring this all up is because content creation overlaps both of these in a rather unfortunate manner. As a content creator, you are the product. You are selling a part of yourself. But you're still beholden to market forces in some regard, whether you like this or not. However, considering you're a person, what you're selling is also this strange parasocial feeling that gets amplified by a perception of authenticity. This, combined with the market forces, is where things get kinda hazy, and where any shift in this sphere is generally seen as fiscally driven rather than one of personal conviction. So let's add yet even more haziness onto the scenario, just for the giggles. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the phrase, a conservative is a liberal who's been mugged. The implication being, once they actually experience their policies, they switch. Now, who's to say this didn't happen to Melonie? Because let's be honest, her prior political stances, as is the case with any lefty, was not healthy or sane. Pretty sure she would concur with this. You would hope and pray then the lady sees sense and returns to sanity, because if she didn't, you'd all think she's indoctrinated. Or thick. So if she doesn't change, be this driven by the market, the reality of sanity, or personal experience, she's an idiot. However, if she does, she's a grifter. Regardless of what you think of her, you do realize you're putting the poor lass between a rock and a hard place. She literally cannot please everyone. That's the reality of the game. As far as the grifting accusations go, I was under the impression if you're a grifter, you peddle things you don't believe in for financial gain. Now, she tends to be quite outspoken on her religious views, not to mention she lost sponsors, jobs, and connections for her stances on the rainbow hippies. So, where exactly are the benefits of said grift here? Considering the industry she worked in where the whole political mess is in vogue, even though it doesn't comport to reality in any way, why aren't people saying that stint of hers was the grift? That would at least make some sense. That word has become like so many other political phrases thrown about these days. A watered-down, hollowed-out message just means they say things that I don't like. Personally, I don't know the extent of Melanie's influence, but if she can help push my favorite word back into the common verbiage without people acting like a bunch of over it, then she's worth more to me than any twat that calls her a grifter. You got anything to add, Melanie? Fantastic. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.